Premier Sports are bringing you Scottish football all year long. Let's just take August, for example. Look at what they have first. Dundee versus Hearts, their first Premiership game that they'll be broadcasting this season. Then we have all of the Premier Sports Cup games of the next round, including some which will be on linear TV. That's the Celtic and the Rangers games, as well as all the others that you can stream online on the Premier Sports platforms. And then to round off August as well, as you can see there, probably the most northern, if we can even call it a derby. Certainly Ross County's closest other Premiership club would be Aberdeen. That's just August. Premier Sports will be showing 20 live Premiership games throughout the whole season. They'll also be showing all the remaining Premier Sports Cup games and Scottish Cup games all the way from round 4 until the final. Here we are at Scotland's National Stadium, Hampden Park, and obviously Premier Sports would have imagined that they'd be broadcasting a lot of games from here this season, particularly later on in the season as we got to the business end of certain competitions, but I bet they didn't imagine that Rangers would be here this early. But to celebrate all the football that will be on for you to watch this season, I've had a really fun few days of filming content around the Dundee and Hearts game. I'm speaking to a few really cool people within the game as well to get their thoughts on everything Premier Sports related too. We've got a lot of football to look forward to on Premier Sports. How are you feeling going into it?
Excited, as I am with every season. I think we've already had a really good sort of introduction with the Premier Sports group stages. The first weekend of the league was really exciting. We had a Dundee derby. We're now featuring Dundee at home for their first game at Dens. So it's going to be really exciting to get fully going in the Premiership season. Really can't wait for it to start.
And the Premier Sports Cup as well, you've covered a few of those games. Have there been any like little quirky stadiums that have stood out over others? Or
I think it's always a good stage of the season maybe to go to grounds that you haven't been to. There's not many I've not got ticked off at this stage, but you know, it was nice to go back down to Palmerston. We did
was that the first game, wasn't it? That was right, yeah.
It was the opening game of the season, so that was great. That's really the only lower league stadium that we went to in those group stages. But
just generally, I suppose, for the platform to be able to stream so many games from stadiums that wouldn't necessarily get that chance throughout the rest of the season.
It's brilliant. I've always thought, as much as possible, you've got to put Scottish football on a platform. We've got such a great product, and sometimes it's hidden, but now we're seeing more and more games being broadcast, being streamed. It's such an important thing to put it out there, and it gives people the option to watch when maybe they haven't had that in recent times. And
obviously we can see the signs behind you there. Rangers, they'll be playing at least the first round that they'll be in of the Premier Sports Cup here at Hampden. How do you think that'll affect them?
Well, I mean, they're pretty regulars at Hampden.
They'll be used to it, won't they? So
they will be used to it. I think it'll maybe be a little bit more strange for broadcasters, for fans, and there will be a slight element of it being odd for the players as well, turning up when they're used to just driving up to Hambrox and now it's Hampden. But they've been here enough times. They're an experienced team. They'll get a run out, of course, with their first home league game. And then Dynamo Kyiv here as well, so they'll have played a couple of times before that.
It's weird, isn't it, because it's been hanging over them for so long, and then 3 or 4 games will just come really thick and fast for them here, I suppose, won't they? So we'll see pretty quickly. And on to Celtic as well. We'll be seeing a lot of them this season too, I imagine. How do you think they'll do in the league? They've not really signed too many people, I suppose.
No, I mean, it's almost like Celtic's transfer business is a goalkeeping direct replacement almost. You're swapping a hugely talented, experienced goalkeeper for another one. It's Kasper Schmeichel comes in to replace Joe Hart. Paulo Bernardo is signed, but he was there on loan. But good business to have him on a permanent deal. Possibility of Adam Ida coming in as well, who again was there last season. So it looks like similar squad, which you saw them in that second half of the season. They turned up to another gear.
Yeah, they did.
Which the chasing pack, be it Rangers, be it anyone else, couldn't really cope with. So, you know, Celtic will start as favourites because they've got a squad that's been there and done it. And I think Matt O'Reilly becomes a huge element to how successful they will be, whether it's that they've got him in the team or that they've got
the money in the bank,
multi-millions to maybe reinvest.
Of course.
I thought Rio Hatate at the weekend was probably the standout player, and maybe having him fit from the start, and they will hope for the entire season, could be absolutely huge, because he's a massive talent.
And for you personally as well, then, you'll be the voice of Premier Sports this season. What have been some of your favourite moments from the last couple of seasons in commentating a lot of these kind of games?
I mean, well, right here, we did the Scottish Cup semi-final between Aberdeen and Celtic, which
what a game
I think
that
was
yeah.
an absolute classic. It was a brilliant game that right until the last penalty that was taken could have gone either way, and even in the penalties there was more drama than you
Joe
usually
Hart misses one and then becomes a hero.
It was absolutely incredible. So I think that's the one, even though it's recent, so it should stick out in the mind, but even when you sort of cast your memory back further, that I think is an absolute standout game, and just there's something brilliant about knockout football. There's so much jeopardy on the line, and for a semi-final, for the chance to go to a Scottish Cup final, it's just I love those moments.
I'm Ryan McGinley and I'm from the Celtic Way.
And so obviously you've been at an event with Premier Sports today. What have they got in store for Scotland this season?
Yeah, just more games on the TV, which is brilliant. I always like seeing more of an exposure of Scottish football on the television. I can't get enough of football as it is. I'll watch any football that's on the TV. So even having games that maybe teams that you wouldn't watch.
Like the Premier Sports Cup so far, they've had a record amount of, I guess, lower league teams being shown this season.
It's a great exposure for these teams, and it's brilliant for them financially too. It's always good if there's money going about in the Scottish League. We've heard stories in the past about teams with money, so it's great to see that, and great to see more of a spotlight on these teams that maybe wouldn't get the spotlight otherwise.
And Celtic have got Hibs in their first round of the Premier Sports Cup. How important is it as a Celtic fan to see them lifting trophies year after year?
Yeah, especially this League Cup trophy, because they didn't get that one last year. That was one of the first games of Brendan Rodgers' return. Was against Kilmarnock at Rugby Park, and we all know how that ended. So yeah, they've been speaking about that in press conferences recently, and the fact that they want that trophy back. They're calling it their trophy, and it's away from them at this moment in time. So yeah, hopefully they can get that, and more games on the TV, more games on Premier Sport would be great, all in all.
Now, after a really fun few days filming with Rory and Ryan and meeting loads of people behind the scenes at Premier Sports, this is a part of the video that I'm really excited for you to see. I went to Dundee and Hearts and had a few challenges to complete along the way to celebrate their opening game on Premier Sports this coming weekend. I had to touch both stadiums, Tynecastle and Dens Park. I had to visit a street named after a player of each team, and I had to buy somebody a gift from either club out of the club shop. Challenge one of the video complete. Here we go, outside Tynecastle. I do like Tynecastle, it's got a good atmosphere, and here we are at Foundation Plaza. We have the heart of Midlothian, not quite the original heart of Midlothian, which is out towards that way into the city, which is where the club gets its name.
Proper summer one.
Yep.
Go for that. Because that one's a floral one.
That's the one, yeah. So that'll be good for a European tour, right?
I would think so.
I could see someone wearing that at Fiorentina away in the Europa League, maybe, or something. Right, we've got the Hearts bucket hat, and I've got about 20 minutes left on my parking, so I need to find someone to give it to. It's a little bit random, but could I give you this?
I don't like football.
Excuse me, are you a Hearts fan? You're not? Okay, no worries, mate. Are you a football fan? Do you like football?
No.
It's a little bit weird. That's fine. I understand. That's all good.
I hate football.
Oh, no worries. You're a Hearts fan?
Yes.
Yes, looks good, to be fair. Look at that. That's class, mate. What's your name?
Kieran.
Kieran, you're a legend, mate. Thanks for taking that. Second game of the season at the end of this week against Dundee. How are you feeling going into it?
Very confident. Probably going to get 3 points from that game.
And you were good against Rangers, weren't you?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you should have got 3 points in that one?
Yeah, definitely. I think there should have at least been one goal from Hearts. That was definitely a handball.
Yeah, you reckon the Barron one? Yeah. And what's your score prediction for the Dundee game?
I'm going to say 2-1 Hearts.
2-1, mate. Nice one. Good luck. Yes, what a legend. What a guy. We were just running out of time on the old car parking as well. So, yeah, he's absolutely saved my bacon there. Right, I am getting out of here. We have a street to visit. Will there be a Shanklin Street? Look at this. It's a beautiful day to come and explore a bit of the nation's capital, named after the one and only Zander Clark. And I think it's spelled correctly as well. Clark, Zander, that is without an E, as is Clark Place here. About a 15-minute drive away from Tynecastle. So that's our 3 Hearts challenges completed. Thanks to the St Johnstone legend, that is Zander Clark. Obviously won 2 trophies in 1 season with them. Let's go and see what Dundee's got in store. Back in Dundee for the 3rd time in under a week, I think. Or in about a week anyway. You just cannot get rid of me here in the city of discovery. I keep discovering more, and what are we discovering here? Simon Murray, Simon Street, welcome. He's just come back to Dundee. I know he loves it, and at the Dundee derby the other day, I don't think they would have come away from that game with a point like they did if it wasn't for him. Obviously he won the penalty, and he was such a thorn in the side of Dundee United all day that day. A phenomenal signing. I always rated him up at Ross County. I thought he did well at Queen's Park before that as well. I was at the playoff at the back end of last season, where his goal kept County up, obviously. Or goals, did he score a few that day? I think he might have done, but yeah, really good player. He's back at Dundee. Here we go, we're back. Look, the 2 closest stadiums in the UK. We have Tannadice to my right, and right up in front of us, we have the stadium that we're visiting today, Dens Park, home of Dundee.
He's not coming on Thursday.
There he is, the main man, whose street we just visited.
I may grab one from the back for you.
Okay, man, thank you. Sticking with the headwear theme here in Dundee, how does it look? We're gonna have to find someone to give it to. I'll best take it off before I find any United fans as well. Is there any Dundee fans? Are you a Dundee fan? No. Putting the boards in for Saturday today?
Yeah, because we've got we're setting up for Kilmarnock tomorrow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And United because they're playing Friday.
That's right, and Kilmarnock will be Europa Conference League Thursday. Oh, so you're just getting it all done now, yeah?
Yeah, then Thursday we are doing Hampden for Rangers.
But yeah, not only are we just going to touch Dens Park, but we're actually inside. There we go. Excuse me, mate, are you a Dundee fan by any chance?
No idea,
Okay, no worries. Are you a Dundee supporter?
No.
Dundee have been champions of Scotland before, much like Hearts. They're 2 of a handful of clubs that have been champions, out with Celtic and Rangers, obviously. They've had a good couple of runs in Europe as well. I think one of the most famous ties would have been against AC Milan, but it was Bill Shankly's brother, Bob Shankly, has a stand named after him here, who actually won them the league. Excuse me, sorry, yeah. I can see you're a Dundee supporter. This might sound a bit strange, but I have a YouTube channel and I've been on a challenge today, giving away things from club shops up and down the country. I've given away a Hearts hat already down at Tynecastle. Okay. I'm just trying to find a Dundee fan. I've just bought it in the club shop. Right. If you've got someone you can give it to, or
I do that.
A grandson or a son or something like that. Yeah. Oh, okay, brilliant. Right, so it's brand new, like I say, just out of the club shop. So
right, thank you
I appreciate it. No, thanks for taking it. It's harder to give stuff away than what you'd imagine. Happy with the draw at the weekend?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good that the derby's back, isn't it?
Oh yes.
And you've got Hearts on Saturday. What do you reckon? You reckon you'll win that?
Well, they play like they can play. They will.
Yeah. I think Simon Murray. He's the one. He's the one. Shout out to her. What a nice lady, repping the streets of Dundee in her Dundee top. Absolutely love to see it on a Tuesday afternoon, representing for the club that she supports. But yeah, really nice. Just had a little chat there about the games that they've already had and coming up and stuff, and she took it for her son or grandson. So if you are watching, then a huge thank you. This video was filmed over a couple of days, as you may be able to tell from some of the weather and just like some of the locations and stuff, but it was a celebration of what Premier Sports have already been able to do with the Premier Sports Cup and so many games that they've shown from so many like small unique stadiums all around the country. Plus we've got some big games coming up with Celtic and Rangers and all the Premiership coverage, which starts tomorrow as I'm filming this, but the video will come out the morning of the Dundee v Hearts game. And you can get 12 months of Premier Sports for just £99. Use the promo code FootyADV, look, as you can see on screen. This offer expires on the 31st of August, so yeah, make sure you don't miss out. Like I say, to the end of August this will run, so use the code FootyADV, like I say, on screen. You'd have seen it earlier too. Make sure you subscribe to the Premier Sports YouTube channel as well. All the games that they broadcast, the highlights will be shown on there. So if you want to watch the games, get on Premier Sports, use the discount code, and then if you want to look back at the highlights as well, make sure you subscribe over there on YouTube. I can't wait for all the football that there is to come, the changing kickoff times as well. We've got late kickoffs on the Saturday at 5:30, so there'll be even more games on this channel and obviously across Premier Sports too. A huge thanks to Premier Sports for sponsoring this channel and supporting me on my journeys up and down Scotland. I cannot wait to see you all at the games, and I'll be at Dens Park on Saturday for Dundee v Hearts. Thank you guys for watching.